from Beit Shemesh and broadcasted around the world. You are listening to the From Entrepreneur Podcast with your host, Nahum Kligman. Interviews and advice from Jewish entrepreneurs from around the world. Listen, learn, be Matzliach.
Welcome to episode 35 of the From Entrepreneur. Today I am sitting with Azriel Ratz from Ratz Pack Media. Azriel is an awesome and inspiring online marketer. He's at the front of his game. Privileged to have him here on the show. Azriel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So just give us a brief, there's so much to talk about, but just give us a brief idea of what Ratz Pack Media, first of all, great name, Ratz Pack Media.
Thank you.
I assume Ratz is actually your last name.
Yes,
That's real. That's not, it wasn't like Ratz Burger and you put it down to Ratz.
No.
So tell us a little bit about Ratz Pack Media, just to get us going.
So before I start talking about the company itself, I have been in online marketing for 4 years. And in July, I started my own business, July 1st. And right now it's just me and a videographer, which we could talk about later. And what we focus on is online advertising. So we're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, and email marketing for clients.
Okay, excellent. Mm-hmm. So let's go a little bit into just, I always like to go into the person's background, find out where they're from, what schoolings they went to, and then we'll dig in deeper. We have a lot to cover. So tell me about, where'd you grow up? Where are you from? I mean, we're sitting here in Ramat Beit Shemesh now, so how'd you get from wherever you came from to over here?
So I'm actually originally from Woodmere, New York. From the Five Towns.
Yep.
And I went to Hafter my entire life from the time I was 5 till...
Is David Beitler still there? Was he there when you were there?
He left before me, but my brother was very close with him, so...
Oh, okay.
He's on North Shore, Hank, I don't remember, but they were very close.
I haven't thought about him in years, but he was an old Neve guy, so...
Yeah, so I was there from the time I was 5 till the time I was 17. My entire high school every year. And then I went to Torah Shraga in Baivagan. Mm-hmm. For a year and a half with a little break. I went to City College for 1 semester, and then I went back to Lander College, and I did, in 4 semesters, I finished all of college.
In 4 semesters, you finished 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow, that Lander being Toro.
Toro, yeah.
What were you majoring in?
So it's a degree in math with a focus of actuarial studies.
Wow, so you're like a real numbers guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's actually very important, especially in online marketing, in order to understand what's working. It's not just about throwing things up there and seeing what sticks, but it's actually, I guess you'll get into it a little bit. It's a mathematical game.
I actually learned all of my marketing from numbers, from analytics. Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay, cool. So you're from Woodmere, Davenesh Kodesh,
Young Israel.
Young Israel,
mm-hmm. And my father was a part of the first minyan of Eish Kodesh, but then we ended up sticking with Fasikin in Young Israel Woodmere. Went there for 7 years. Very
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I've davened there. Beautiful shul.
Yeah,
absolutely
really
beautiful shul. Okay, so then how'd you end up in Eretz Yisrael? You got married, I assume.
So I finished college on August 17th or 18th, 2011, and I made Aliyah 5 days later. I was on a plane. I took a test on literally 5 days before I had my ticket booked. I got on the plane and I came back as a madrich for 2 years in Torah Shraga.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you made Aliyah officially at that point?
So it wasn't officially made. I didn't officially make Aliyah. I was there on like a student visa.
Okay.
Here on, on a student visa. And then I was so the first year as a madrich, I was there full time and I worked 1 hour for a business we may talk about later. And then at my second year, I was there, but I worked 4 hours a day for this other business.
What's the business?
So the company is called Israel 365, which is actually located.
Oh, yeah, it's also located here. Yeah, I know.
Right down the street. Yeah.
Who's behind that again?
So his Rabbi Tully Weiss.
Right, Rabbi Tully Weiss. Right. He's somebody I want to interview. Tully, if you're listening to this, I got to get you on the show.
Great guy.
Yeah, I've heard such amazing things about him.
So he started the business January 1st, 2012. I started February 15th. 2012 with him.
Wow.
And the start was 1,000 people on an email list and an iPhone app. That was it. I think maybe there were 300 likes on Facebook. That's legitimately all that we had. When I left in June, we had 150,000 emails.
Wow.
And we were sending 4 daily emails.
To that entire list?
So each person got to choose which email list they were on.
Oh, okay.
But we were sending 150,000 emails daily, and we were sending approximately another 50,000 to clients on a weekly basis.
Wow.
So we were sending... I made the layouts for all those emails, and I did all the analytics for those emails. We were sending about 2 million emails a month.
That's incredible. And then this is what Israel 365 is, obviously a pro-Israel site. And was the target market like all like
Christians?
Evangelical
Christians.
Oh,
evangelical. Yeah.
Wow. So Ted Cruz fans or Trump, I guess.
Yeah. We could talk about politics and but so we had 150,000 people on an email list, 500,000 people on Facebook, and we had about 1 million page views a month on our website.
Wow. So if you wanted to sell to this market...
Well, we sold to the market. We were selling about $30,000 a month of Judaica.
Judaica. And your own stuff or other people's stuff?
So I think now they're moving more. They were like making bumper stickers, like simple things that they could print. But most of the stuff that they were selling was art from Israel, Judaica from Israel, menorahs, and working with third party.
So how did you grow so fast? You want to give us a couple of those secrets?
Oh, the secret is Facebook advertising.
Really, you just put a lot of money into that, just building up
So we started I ran the first campaign, I want to say, like December 2013. We were running campaigns and we started noticing, I found this really nice hack, which was polls. People love answering polls.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think that's where Twitter kind of realized that they can get a lot of engagement on Twitter polls. It's like 24-hour polls. So what we did was the biggest clients was Libby, American Friends of Libby, which is actually the nonprofit of the IDF. I was in the army in Libby for 6 months. So they are actually an army unit, and they have a branch in America. So they grew. I was fan number 3 on their Facebook page.
Right.
They grew to about 60,000 on Facebook, and every single post had over 10,000 impressions. Meaning it was like crazy. Like these people love the Israeli army. Every picture we posted, every article we posted, it got like ridiculous engagement. And there was actually one day when I had first realized that polls were working. So I made a poll, and it got 300 emails because what. The poll was answer the question, give us your email to confirm your registration of the thing. And I think I posted at like 6:00 at night here, and something by 10 o'clock at night, we had over 300 emails for free. So we didn't give them anything. And we realized that this was like the true thing that was really working, was using Facebook to get engagement, that we were getting people to engage, clicking on our links, even if they weren't sharing like in which they were in addition, and it got literally hundreds of thousands of people to come to the website every month.
Amazing.
And it grew the list. I'm saying they grew their list from 3,000 to 15,000 emails in several weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. All right. So I want to, let's just go back to you just a little bit. So you're here, then you got married at some point. I assume.
So I got married.
Your wife, she took my blood.
So I got married in March 2013. It's coming up, 30-year engagement anniversary in the next few weeks. 2 weeks.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. And she actually went to school here. She went to college here, and she graduated as a nurse, and then she became a nurse, and now she works in Rome.
Now she takes people's blood.
She takes people's blood.
Okay, so then when did you leave? So you left Israel 365, and then that's
June 30th, and I started the company July 1st.
Okay, so what made you leave, and actually I don't mean like what made you leave, but what was it that made you want to start your own company?
So that's actually a funny question, because the way I see it in Israel is that service providers are just paid less money in Israel in comparison to their counterparts in America.
Sure.
So just as an example, a nurse in Israel is paid about 1/5 of what a nurse in America is paid.
Wow.
And a social media expert on even like not an expert, a basic level social media person can make as much as 10 times in America what they're making in Israel.
So meaning because of Israeli clients, you're saying?
Not even Israeli clients, just if you're working for, meaning if I was living in America today, I would most likely work for another brand, and that brand would be paying me around potentially more than 10 times what I'd be making in another brand working here.
Wow. Why do you think that is?
It's a long. That's definitely a long conversation.
We have 3 hours.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as I see, most stuff in Israel, like physical products, are about the same price here as they are in America.
Okay.
And it's just I'm not sure if it's that people don't think that employees are like as worth it.
Or just
in Israel.
The wages here are a lot lower.
But that goes across anything that's a service, meaning a graphic designer, a guy who makes pizza, a guy who flips burgers. they just get about a fifth less money than someone who works in America. The same person, no matter what the service that they're providing is, they are getting about a fifth less.
So you decided that if you're going on your own,
if I'm anyways only making a fifth less, I might as well just start my own company. And even if I only make a fifth of what my counterpart is making in America, I'm still making about the same. So I'd rather work for myself and get paid nothing than work for someone else and get paid nothing.
Right. I hear that. So how's it been going since you started?
So this is the 8th month, and at this point, I'm actually making more than I was, and I would be making at another job.
Okay, so that's not bad after 8 months.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, I mean, when it comes to online marketing, as we said before, it is about the numbers. I get asked people all the time about, should I go on Facebook ads or should I do Google ads? And it seems like, lately I've been telling people and the market's been saying, stay away from Google. The money's in Facebook.
So I'll tell you like this. I actually made a video about that, which we could talk about in a minute. Mm-hmm. But as far as I see, you don't know what works for you, for your potential customers, unless you are testing in both markets. Because while it's true that you will definitely get a click for less than you will be paying on if you're paying for clicks on Facebook as opposed to paying for clicks on Google, at the end of the day, you will be getting more clicks per dollar on Facebook than you would on Google. But that's not, I don't care about clicks. At the end of the day, most businesses care about
conversion,
paying customers. That's what people care about. So I would much rather pay 50 cents for a Google click and then let's say I need 100 clicks from Google to get someone to convert, but I need 500 clicks from Facebook to convert. So if I'm paying less, if I'm paying more than 10 cents for a click on Facebook, in comparison, I'm not doing better on Facebook because the clicks are not converting. So it's really all about trying out each ad platform, seeing which one is working best for your customers or clients. And then by doing that, which one is making the most money? Which one is making the most money? That's what you care about. Which one makes the most money? And that's really what. So I can't tell you which one's better. I would tell you that you will definitely get. But it is a numbers
game. I mean, if a client comes to you and says, okay, I want to spend $1,000 a month on Google. I want to spend $1,000 a month on Facebook. Let's run it for 3 months, let's say, and then you'll be able to see from the numbers, you'll be able to know how to tweak what's working and how to, both on Facebook and on Google.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
because that's where the chachma comes from. I mean, it's getting it down to a science.
The next step, which is really what I think the difference between basic level marketers and expert level marketers are, is you go in the analytics and you really dig in to see which traffic is the stuff that's bringing you clients. Because, for example, I was running an ad for a client and everyone's talking about mobile first, which it's true. Mobile, you should be focusing on mobile in general in the world because that's where people are focused on. But we were seeing that when you got a click from desktop, a person spent 63 seconds on the site. But if they came from mobile, they spent 12 seconds on the site. Wow. So I would much rather spend my money to get someone on desktop because they're spending more time on the website.
Sure.
So if you're not looking at the data, and that's just basic. I'm not even talking about like advanced data. I'm talking about the most basic data. Like when the person comes to their site, what are they doing on your site? How long are they spending on the site? Are they then clicking around on your site? Because if they come and leave, your click was totally worthless to you.
Sure.
So it's really about landing page optimization and then digging into the analytics and really like examining what's working, what's not working, and tweak the website accordingly, tweak the ads accordingly. And that's really what I think is the difference between someone who has no idea what they're doing and just spending money on Facebook and hoping that it's going to do stuff, and a person who spent, I've done 4 years of Facebook ads and Google ads.
Right. So, I mean, it's very interesting. How long would you say a campaign needs to go in order to really get it down to see what's working, what's not? A month, 2 months, 3 months?
So I think my hope is that if you're running an ad campaign correctly, you should be seeing money coming in at the end of the 3rd month.
Okay, so it takes the time to really tweak it and find out what's working. And that's something that you do, that your company does, is to help tweak and to help
create the ads, monitor the ads, tweak the ads, analyze the ads, and then give feedback on, well, we were hoping for people to click, but that wasn't working, so maybe we should try a Facebook lead ad, which is another type of ad you could run, or maybe it's worth, switching to sending people to a different landing page, or trying a different ad, or trying a different audience, or trying, a different platform to add. Maybe LinkedIn is the right place to be advertising. And really that's what we're examining is where I don't want you to spend money if you're not making money. That's the bottom line.
Well, I guess if they're making money, you're making money, and they keep going with you. And that's really what it's about. Mm-hmm. Are you seeing a change in market in terms of where people are spending their money? Do people spend more money on LinkedIn? Are they spending it mostly on Facebook?
So as far as any social media platform, Facebook by far has the greatest advertising platform. like Twitter is, I was at a conference last week. They were talking about how Twitter ads are like light years behind what Facebook is giving you, meaning you're going to be paying for
in terms of targeting, or
so even forget target. Even if you could do the same targeting, you're paying like $3 a click on Twitter. Yeah, it's
wow.
like
Why?
so. It's just they just overpriced every. If they were to like give you 70% off your ads, maybe you'd get the same out of it as Facebook. But like, there's so much more expensive, and the advertising and the targeting isn't as good because they know less about people.
Sure.
Than they know on Facebook, and because there's just such a difference between how grown the ad platform is, like it's just like you're basically wasting your money on Twitter ads as far as I've seen. And,
okay, so you wouldn't suggest
right,
anybody.
So that's why I would say for most businesses, like unless you have over $10 million spending budget a year, you should probably not be spending it anywhere except Facebook ads and your local like newspaper. If you were like a really local business, then putting it in like newsletters and magazines in your local business, which is not a dead market, which is a conversation for another time as well. And that's basically because at the end of the day, like you only have a certain amount of money and you want that money to go the farthest it can.
Sure.
And the targeting on Facebook is just so much better than anywhere else on the internet. Even Google, just because, just like a straight example, like I sell jerseys. I sell, sports jerseys, right?
Right.
So if someone types in the word jersey into Google, I'd want to target that word. It would be really stupid of me because maybe they're talking about New Jersey. They type the word New Jersey, and there, I'm sure there's a million people that search the word New Jersey every year, but I'm targeting the word Jersey, and I've just spent however much money to get Google to show my ad to sell my jerseys online.
Right.
And so if you're not really focused, which is another thing about Google ads, is that if you're not really focused on what the people are that you want to buy, that you want to actually buy your product are searching, you're going to be spending money on words that aren't helpful, which is why I really like Facebook, because you could target those exact people. You don't, it's not like a surprise. Like you're targeting people from your website. You're targeting people from your email list. You're targeting lookalike campaigns. And those groups of people are people who have shown interest. They're not people who typed in like, I want to see a picture of LeBron James jersey, right? Which they have no interest in buying. I mean, maybe the hope is that they will then go and buy that jersey, but it wasn't what they were looking for now. They weren't looking to buy that product now. So it doesn't really help you on Google.
Although, as you said before, it could be that on Google, when someone's searching for a product, even though you may be paying more, the conversions may be higher because someone's actually looking for it.
Right.
Whereas Facebook, it's more of a push than a pull.
Mm-hmm, correct. So that's why I think this video is actually coming out this week about the difference between Google ads and Facebook ads, is that Google ads, if you're doing the right keywords, meaning if you were to use keywords like how much is this barbecue, and then you had an ad that targeted that exact list, like keyword string, that would be a very good sell to try to actually sell someone a barbecue. But on Facebook, just because the person's interested in barbecues doesn't mean that they're buying your $396 barbecue today.
Right.
So that's really the difference between how you advertise on those platforms.
And do you think it's important to buy likes still?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
It's a waste of money.
In my opinion, the last thing you should ever do for your business is buy likes on Facebook, because let's just say this, if you're spending money on ads anyways, because your reach is only 3% of your audience.
Right.
So you're anyways spending money on ads. So why in the world would you spend money to get people to like your page if you still have to pay to get them to see the posts anyways? Meaning you could target those people the same way, whether or not they've liked your page. And if they really like your content because they saw your article or you gave them a webinar or you did something with them, they're going to like your page without you asking it. So I'd rather spend money on website clicks and then get the residual likes because the person enjoyed my content. Mm-hmm. And those likes are going to do much better for you in the long run than someone you paid to convince them to click the like button and they got no value from you.
Right. So it's about value. It's about giving value. So you mentioned a couple times already, and let's dig into this about video and video strategy. Mm-hmm. Tell us about, I see that you're doing a lot with video now. You mentioned you have some videos coming out. You already have done videos.
Yes.
So what do you do with video, and why are you doing it with video, and why should or shouldn't people get into
absolutely.
Video?
So I started recording January 2nd this year. And I've come out.
Very into numbers. You know your dates, you know your numbers.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're somebody I would trust in my ad campaigns.
So I started January 2nd.
Do you read Google Analytics for fun? Do you just
do I read? I actually spend. I mean, for me, I want my customers and my subscribers to have the greatest experience they can have whenever they come anywhere. Right. So if you tell me that if I see on Facebook Analytics or Google Analytics that someone really likes a specific type of article, I'll write more of those articles. If someone likes a type of video, I'll make more of those videos, because I can never know unless I ask. And the only way to ask these days is to see data. So I just sit there, look at data. And I was actually just came from a client meeting like 10 minutes ago. I was just at a client meeting. I was talking to him about using Google Analytics to understand the flow of how people use your website, because maybe you created the website in a way without you knowing it that you're sending people to a page that you don't even want them to go to. Which is actually what he saw. He was sending a ton of traffic to his about page when really what he wanted people to do was come to his product page. And the reason was because in his top menu bar, the about page was the second click and the product was the fourth click. So now, because we saw this data in Google Analytics, we're going to move the product page to be the second after home, the home button.
Interesting.
Because of seeing what we saw in Google Analytics. That's how it works.
And you'll instantly see a change. Okay, so going back to video. So let's get.
Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, people like connecting with you. And people like seeing who you are. So as someone who wants to do as much business as possible in America, because again, someone is paid 5 to 10 times more if you're working with American clients.
Sure.
I cannot physically sit there in a room with them and shake their hand. It's impossible. I cannot, there is just no way, unless, someone wants to like hand me several $100,000 to travel to America every 3 weeks.
Right.
I just cannot be there. But I noticed that making a video where I'm looking straight into the eyes of the person watching the video, the connection that I create by doing that is something that I can never do with audio or blog. Okay. So I will tell you that is actually the only reason why I started doing vlogging.
Vlogging. Now, I haven't heard that term since 2008.
It's still done.
People call it vlogging still?
Yes.
Video vlogging for those that are listening.
Yeah. I mean, there's a guy on YouTube now, Casey Neistat, who does a daily vlog. He grew to 2 million followers in the last less than a year.
2 million.
2 million in less than a year, because he's every single day he makes a video every single day, and he was just flown to the Oscars. He was flown to the Oscars by Samsung to make a 360 video with their camera to show how good the quality is. He was flown in from New York because of how large his YouTube following was.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your video strategy is in order to connect with customers.
So as that is my business goal for videos is not to find new people, because I haven't yet spent money on advertising, which I do plan to do in the next few months. I want to spend money on Facebook ads, targeting people with the videos. But the initial reason to make the videos was to get the people who've already heard of me to go and say, wow, this guy really knows his stuff. Let me email him. And forget like making them a client. I want them to email me and say, well, great stuff. Can we talk? That's all I want from it. So I will tell you that out of my 6 clients I have now, 4 of them only ended up pulling the trigger to contact me because they saw the videos. In fact, I would ask you, when you met my wife,
yes,
and you talked to her about what I do, would you have invited me on this podcast if you had not seen the videos?
Probably not.
Right. So I got on this podcast because I made those videos.
Right.
And now
that's
everyone
something that intrigued me, because I saw you were doing it, and I read about how you're trying to do a video, I don't know, 5
times a week.
5 times a week.
So I've already made 50 videos since January 2nd. We're talking about, it's March. I've already made 50 videos since March.
Wow. So what are the videos about, and generally how long are they?
So secret here. I record all 5 videos on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday I record it for about an hour and a half.
And you go into a studio, you have a place set up yourself?
So is my videographer, we do it in his house. We're trying to look for new locations, but as of now we're doing it in his house, and we record straight 5 videos in about an hour and a half. We're getting...
How long is each video?
So the videos can be anywhere from 2 to 7 minutes.
Okay, so you keep it short.
Yeah, I try to keep it in the 4 to 6 minute range, because I've seen from data that those are the best performing Facebook videos.
Okay, so part of your strategy is actually...
Yeah, I actually don't send any traffic to YouTube. I mean, I put the videos up on YouTube in hopes that people find it, which I think I've gotten like 1,100 views on YouTube, but I'm totally not interested in the views from YouTube, because the algorithm on YouTube doesn't help me unless I have like 1 million views. But on Facebook, if one person watches the video, then the next day when I post an article, Facebook's going to say, whoa, that person sat and watched the video for 3 minutes, however long they watched it for. Let me show them this article from this person.
Oh, is that true?
Yes.
Oh, see, that's
very
interesting to me.
If you interact with any post of mine that has to do with the page Ratz Pack Media gets a brownie point on Facebook for any future posts that you might be interested in. So if you watch the video, the chances are that tomorrow you will see that video, and the next day you'll see the video, and the next day you'll see the video. So my entire marketing plan right now is get people to sit and watch the first 30 seconds of the video. That's all I'm asking for. Facebook counts it as a view in 3 seconds. So if you sit for 3 seconds, Facebook already has given me some sort of like power to get in front of you the next time.
Interesting. Whether if it's a link to a website or another article or anything else.
Anything. So
that's a great strategy.
So I will tell you that when I started these I've yet to spend a single dollar on Facebook ads for myself, which I'm hoping to do like May, June time.
Right.
But I went from 40 likes to 180 likes on Facebook, and every video I post every single day gets about 300 views. We're talking about I'm being seen by almost double the number of people that actually like my page without spending a single penny on ads.
Wow. And what type of topics do you cover? Like, what are some of the videos
So
you've done?
I try to cover anything online marketing, legitimately.
You already did 50. I mean, you've done 50 videos. How do you come up with topics?
I actually, this week, I walked into this guy's house and I said, I have nothing to talk about. Okay, let's go. This week is what's coming out. This week is I'm making the first video is about the difference between Facebook and Google ads, which we actually talked about here. And then the next 4 videos are how to target correctly on Facebook to make sure that every penny you spend is going to people that might actually be interested in your product. Next week, for however many videos it ends up being, I'm hoping to talk about what type of content to actually put in your ads. And then the next week, I'm hoping to put what type of content should be on the landing pages.
So you're giving away free content.
Yes. That I spent 4 years testing and learning. And spending, I probably spent over about $500,000 now on Facebook and Google ads.
Right.
And testing, without exaggeration, over 100,000 ads.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about email marketing. I always hear that email is really the key to any success.
Yes. I've actually heard a lot of people say that email is dead, and I talk to them and I say, what the heck are you talking about?
Right.
Because as we said before, a good Facebook page, you're hoping for about 5% interaction with the people that like your page. Mm-hmm. On email, it's expected that you'll have over 17% open rate, meaning that person will see your logo and whatever you put in the top of your email, whether or not they click.
I don't want to brag, but my open rate on my email list is about 36%.
Wow.
Is it from entrepreneur email list?
Wow. Yeah. So
thank you, fans.
So just average wise, if you're for every 1,000 people you get on Facebook, you're getting seen by 30, and for every 1,000 on. Did I do that number right? Yes, 3%. Yeah. And for every 1,000 on your email list, you're getting seen by 170 on average. I'm talking about you could have a list that has 50, 60. I actually heard of someone who has an app that they send an email right as you're downloading the app, which I think is pretty stupid because you just got the person into the app and now you're sending them to their email address. But What could you do? And it had an 86% open rate on that first email.
Wow.
So. And because they've convinced you to open the email. I mean, strategy is something else because you just got them into the app and you're sending them to read the email. But like that's you could actually get conversion like open rates of 60+% if you're targeting correctly. So to consider like Facebook will never be seen by more than 30%. Like you'll never get more than 30% in your wildest dreams of your audience, but it is very doable on email marketing.
So what are some tricks and tools for email marketing? What do you use?
So how do you get people
to put in their emails?
So we talked about before polls.
Right.
But if you're not doing polls, because we were able to do polls because it was a news website. So we were able to talk about news. Like the company that I was working with, they were very much talking about Israeli things going on in Israel at the time. So if you're not news and you're not posting 7 times, I think they're up to like 12 times a day now on Facebook.
Wow.
That's what they're doing now, which they should probably be more. I mean, Huffington Post is posting 53 times a day on Facebook. BuzzFeed is something like at least 30, and Upworthy is also over 10 every day.
Wow.
So there is, if you're creating or curating content for Facebook, you could be posting 30 times a day.
Should you not be worried about upsetting your viewers or your
list? I would say that the likelihood of you giving people content that is valuable to them and them saying, what are you doing? Why are you in my newsfeed? Is very unlikely because you're giving them value. I'm saying you're helping.
I always try to. I post maybe once on my personal Facebook page. I post at least once a day, maybe sometimes twice a day. But I try to be very selective because I don't want people to say, "Oh, another post," even though I think it's pretty good content.
Right. So if you truly understand your users and what they want, and you're giving them what they want on a normal basis, I want to get 100 posts a day from you if all your content is good.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's really about truly understanding what your users want. If your users only want one post a day, do not post 2 times a day because that's all they want. They only want to hear from you once a day. Imagine if I posted 7 videos a day. People are already telling me that 5 is too much a week. If I posted 7 times a day a different video, people wouldn't be able to watch that many videos in the day. So it's really about understanding.
It's funny because that's just a break in here. That's why, I'm a big fan of Seth Godin.
Yeah.
And, I was in his email list for about 5, 6, 7 years.
Wow.
But I just got so frustrated. He sends out an email every single day.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't keep up with him anymore.
Yeah.
So I had to unsubscribe because it was killing me that I wasn't reading them because
Right.
they were so good. And then, but I just couldn't stand seeing the emails come in every day. I just didn't have time to read them. But.
Right. So it's really about, so we can talk about Seth Godin later, but it's really about truly understanding what and this is also true for email marketing. If you send an email newsletter and the entire email newsletter is just stuff about you and your business, I will not open the third email. That's it. So you'll actually see a trend where the first email that you ever send to your people has I've seen 75% open rate. The second one has 45% open rate. And the third one has 12.
That means you're doing something wrong.
Because the person opened your email, they gave you a shot. They said, I really like this guy. You convinced me to sign up. You gave me an ebook. You gave me a coupon, a discount. You gave me some sort of thing. I gave you my email address. I trusted you. Now you got them on the email list and you gave them an article. And the article said, learn about my marketing thing that I'm going to try to sell you with. And you're like, well, this is really stupid because that's not why I signed up. I wanted more cool stuff that you were offering that you promised. I wanted cool stuff. And then the second email, again, you try to sell them your pair of shoes, know? And now by the third email, they're like, well, if he tried to sell me time 1 and he tried to sell me time 2, he's probably going to try to sell me time 3. So I'm already done. That's it. Wow. I'm finished. So a lot of people are all focused on the first email. I'm way more focused on about the 5th or 6th email because if people are still opening on day 6, it means they're doing something right.
Right. So it's going back to that. It's about giving value, giving good value, building the trust, building the relationship. And, once they see, and I think that's we spoke before this interview a little bit about Gary Vaynerchuk and his method of jab, 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 right hook, right? Just give. And then when you ask for something, it's okay because people understand that you're in business, you got to make some money. But, he's very big into just creating value.
I'm a very, very big fan of Gary V. And anyone, I'm actually part of a Facebook group called the Book Squad, which is trying to get people. He's coming out with a new book in less than 1 week from today, on the 8th. On the 8th, is 6 days from today, and I highly recommend. He's actually manipulated the system because he understands people so well, so incredibly well that how do you know what people want? You ask them to ask you questions. He literally made a book on every question everyone's ever asked him. It's 500 pages long with every question that anyone's asked in the last 3 years. That's what he did. And then people are asking now, but if I already watched the videos, why do I need the book? So he said, well, I re-answered all the questions in the book. And then he re-answered all the questions in the audiobook, meaning you're getting 3 totally different perspectives by watching the video, by reading the book, and by listening to the audiobook, which I'm planning to do all 3 of those things. Right. Because he's totally understands that you need to provide people with what they want. So let them ask you, and then you get to give it to them. Right. That's it. That's what he's been doing. He's just been answering people's questions for the last 3 years. That's what and now he's able to come out with
Ask Gary V.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, he's a genius. He's a genius. I do wish his language was a little less provocative, but he admits he has a problem.
He's admitted
he's a Jewish guy.
Yes,
our grandmothers are from the same place, Belarus, and we both grew up in North Jersey. Mm-hmm. And we both used to sell
actually
baseball
from Belarus.
Cards.
He only moved there when he was 7. I'm saying he moved from there.
From Belarus. And we both used to sell baseball cards at trade shows back, 20 years ago. I remember he was once talking about he was selling in Persephone Hotel. And I was like, I used to go to those same. I may have seen him because we used to go to the same baseball card shows at the same time, selling. Back
so
then,
of all people, I think he's
got to come from. We got to convert.
Yeah, one of his daily vlogs, he talked about going to someone's shiva. That's what he was talking about. In this last one that came out yesterday, he said that someone asked him, would you fly to Israel for the book launch? Oh. And he said, so what's the offer? They said 4. So I assume that means 4,000 books. Someone's willing to buy. I don't know who it is. If you're in Israel and you contacted Gary V, maybe we could figure out how to get more than 4,000 books ordered in this country so that he'll come and fly here.
He's been here before.
I think
he's spoken here before.
But maybe we can get him in the next month, So yeah. But I think of all people, he even says about himself, he truly understands, and that's why I actually really like of course, if you're uncomfortable with the cursing, then it's a bit hard to watch what he has to say.
I've stopped the videos and just because of that.
So I'll tell you that the thing I enjoy the most about what he does is that when he sees people in the street, he's like, you're watching a video of him literally just walk down the street and meet people. Right, there are parts where he goes into a meeting and you see, and he like looks into people's eyes and he shakes their hand and he smiles and he's like, you could see that he's actually listening and just like these mannerisms that he has. Mannerisms. Is that a word?
Yeah, either word.
That you see that he's truly like he's interacting with you. He understands you. Like someone actually said that he was on their podcast and that at the end of the podcast he like gave her a kiss.
Oh, really?
Right? Because he connects with people very easily. So he truly understands. He says he doesn't read. He never reads any book. He doesn't read any books. All he does is read what his followers say. And he'll to the point where he'll follow them all on Instagram and like without actually following, but he'll go and like search their Instagram account and see what they're doing on Instagram and what they're doing on Twitter because he cares about what are the people that are following him care about so that he could give them that value.
Right.
That's really his biggest strength.
So you try to, obviously you could take his same tactics and just apply it to your business and to what you're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you're doing that with your videos and stuff. So what do you use for email marketing?
I'm a huge fan of MailChimp. The video just came out, but yesterday on why I love MailChimp. That was yesterday's video because if you're a business that doesn't have $40,000 a year for HubSpot, which is almost
overkill.
Arguably a considerably better system than MailChimp all around. They do landing pages and forms and everything all in one place, and they connect your social media and everything and your blog posts. So most businesses don't have $40,000 a year to spend on HubSpot or the likes of Epsilon and Silverpop and ExactTarget, which are amazing platforms. But we're talking about, spending, I think one of them is ExactTarget is like in the $60,000 a year range.
Wow.
MailChimp for under 2,000 emails is free.
Right.
And even with 2,000 emails, $10 a month. We're talking about $120 a year in comparison. So you can't make landing pages with it and you can connect it with social media, but on a much lower level. But the automation, which is definitely worth the $10 a month to spend on it, is amazing. The analytics would be amazing if you could export it. It's like, I would get like 4.5 stars. If only you could export the data from MailChimp, it would be the best thing ever. Mm-hmm. But just all around, the design of an email is so much nicer than any other platform on the same level. We're talking about like Constant Contact, Mad Mimi. I just saw one called Nation Builder. There's literally 10,000 different EMSs.
Is there really?
At least 10. I actually was going through a list one time. There's like thousands and thousands of them. And the ones that are on the cheaper level, you could watch the video. It just came out yesterday. Yeah. I literally went through this. On that level, there is no competition with MailChimp. It's just so much better. The layout is like so much nicer. It's so much easier to customize. It saves on its own so that if you accidentally refresh your page, which I once did on Constant Contact, and I lost 2 hours of work.
Oh my God.
And it was all gone because it didn't autosave, and I didn't think to save it because I had been so used to using MailChimp, which autosaved, and the analytics that it gives you in real time and the ability to schedule not just according to what time you want to send, but what time the person wants to get the email, which you could do now on MailChimp, and the AX testing, which means that you could test 6 versions of your email newsletter into your subscribers. There's so much that you could do on MailChimp, and it's so cheap. We're talking about you're going to spend under $200 a year.
Right.
For your email newsletter if you're under 3,000 people.
What's the best way to collect people's emails? Is it a giveaway?
There is no best. The best is the one that works for your business.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of anyone who sells stuff, who sells products, to give a discount away. In fact, if you were to ask me like what book I really like, there's a book that
which I am going to.
My favorite book, which I think every single person in the whole world should buy this book and read it before they ever talk to another person again. Yeah. It's called Priceless: The Myth of Fair Value, where the guy in 300 and some odd pages tells you how people don't know what value is. If I were to ask you, what the price of a cup is, you wouldn't be able to tell me it. But if I told you this cup's $500, then it would, in your mind, you would even subconsciously say, wow, $500, and then I can offer it to you for $5. You're like, wow, what an amazing deal.
Right.
Because so if you were to create a store and your store was 30% more expensive than every other store in the entire world. Right. Now you can offer a 40% discount
and still make money
and still walk away with a nice amount of money. And because if everyone's only making 10%, then they're doing something wrong. So if you're 30% more than everyone else, and you're giving a 40% coupon, making you slightly less. In fact, you could be more. You could be 20%, give a 20% off coupon. So you're still 10% more than everyone else. And you will sell more products with your coupon. because you have a coupon, and that will allow you to get people to come back because they're all excited for the next coupon. So I love giving coupons because I also noticed that only 1/3 of people actually use coupons when they purchase. So I will give away a 30% coupon on my product that's 40% more expensive than everyone else, and then 2/3 of the people will still spend 40% more than they would have if they would have bought it from Amazon or a different process. And so that's like amazing thing. You use Facebook ads. Again, the targeting on Facebook ads is just so amazing that you could target the people that were on your website that bought a specific product. You could upsell them on a different product, or you could sell them that product again, whatever it is. And you could give them a coupon to ask for their email address. And then when they buy, they'll be giving you their address and their phone number and their name.
Right.
So you gained money because you're not giving away something for free. You're charging 20% more. You're giving a 15% coupon, and then you're still making 5% more than you would have with the coupon.
At the same time, you have to prove that the value of what you're giving away is worth that 30% more.
Right. So, and so that's why
you can't just charge more.
Right. Well, that's if. It happens to be that I think that where we are right now, the average person that's on my website will not go and check out the price on Amazon.
Really?
Yes. The average person says, if this person has given me value, meaning if they've watched 2 videos of mine and read a blog, I also put 5 blogs a day. 5 blog posts a week. So I'm posting
That's a lot of content.
5 blog posts and 5 vlogs a week. So if someone has read my blogs, and they've watch my videos and I present to them a product, they will not go and see how much it costs somewhere else. They will just buy it from me because they've seen the value, and the perceived this book that talks about the perceived value is whatever I tell them. So I could tell them my ebook is $796, but for a limited time only, you can get it for $294.
Right.
And they're like, whoa, $294. I have to get 3. And so that's really, if you don't believe your thing is valued that much, don't give it a number, 6 times more. But if you actually think that that's that you provide enough value to ask for them to give you this amount, it's really not crazy for them to then go and reciprocate the giving by giving.
Right. Fantastic. This has been really great. I've learned so much, and you've given us a lot of things to think about and a lot of great advice. Let's go to what I call the lightning round. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about, first of all, what would you say is the best advice you ever received?
Don't be afraid to fail.
Don't be afraid to fail.
That's, to me, especially in math, I have a son who's about he's 16 months right now, so he's just learning to walk.
I was gonna say he's just learning to do math.
So as he tries to take 2-3 steps and falls, we don't say man, you failed at walking just now, right?
Right.
And if someone is learning to ride a bike and they fall 3 times before they learn how to bike, you don't say, wow, that person failed at riding a bike. And if I try to do a math problem and I get it wrong and then I learn how to do it, no one says you failed at math because you got the question wrong. Now I know how to do it, so now I could do it. So if you're not willing to fail in business, you're not willing to spend money to fail in business, you're never going to learn how to do it right, and you'll be holding yourself back because you weren't prepared to try.
Right.
And I feel like the fear of failure is probably the greatest cause of people not doing things.
I'd agree. That's something I've talked about before in the past, and I couldn't agree more. That if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to learn how to take the leap. You got to, not let fear of failure, hold you back. So that's great advice. We talked about some online tools already, but what is one of your favorite online tools, and what do you love about it?
Facebook Power Editor. It is definitely
the ad editor.
So there's 2 sections of Facebook Ads Manager. The part 1 is it's just called Ad Manager. So from there, you view your current ads, and you could see which ads are getting likes and which are getting comments, and now loves and wows and anger and sadness and all those things.
Right.
But you can technically create an ad in Ad Manager, but I would never suggest anyone doing it. Power Editor is where you actually go about at creating the ads in bulk. So again, Facebook advertising is the greatest ad platform that exists in the world, and the Power Editor has bugs, the things that they fix that ends up making more problems later. But at the end of the day, the ability to create, I do 400 ads per ad campaign.
Wow.
So I'm creating 400 ads, and it takes me under 45 minutes with the Power Editor because I'm able to.
So you just change the pictures or change
the picture, change the text. And
then you're able to see what's working best, and then tweak, and then amazing. I think a lot of business owners out there, they just don't have the patience to understand or to learn or the Zitzflesh to study the Google Analytics or analytics of your campaigns and stuff. So I think if you can't, if not only you could do that for your customers, but you're able to explain it in English, as they say.
Right.
I think it's a very valuable, what you offer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What have you purchased recently for less than $100 that has had the greatest impact on your life?
What have I purchased for $100?
Less than $100.
Less than $100. So a second book that I bought that I really like is called The Upside of Irrationality by Dan Ariely.
Okay.
So he writes a lot of books on psychology. So I will tell you that what separates the salesmen from the marketers are understanding psychology of humans. Mm-hmm. Which is why I really enjoyed the first book we were talking about, which The Priceless, because it truly breaks down the mentality of human beings. Right. So this book,
how people buy.
This one actually has nothing to do with buying. This one has to do with, it's basically like your mind thinks a specific way and how to manipulate yourself to know that it's really your mind playing tricks on you, so to speak. He talked about in one chapter about procrastination, that he says humans in general like to procrastinate, but when asked which they enjoyed better, doing it early or doing it later, they all had more pleasure when the thing was done
earlier.
So
funny.
He said, why would you want to push off enjoyment to later and get less of it?
Huh.
So, and he also talked
about...
Why is
that? Why do we procrastinate?
So he talked about, like, into this book is like, it's an amazing look at human psychology in that if I were to tell you that every dollar you make, I will give you another dollar for every dollar you make. So you would assume the human mind would say, I have double my money, so I should be double as happy.
Right.
But a person is only 9% more happy with double the money. So you have to be making like 100 times more money to actually be double as happy.
So interesting.
And
they say money does not cause happiness.
Right. Yeah. And actually I saw a Tony Robbins video where he said that the people who are the happiest are those that give more than they take. Like, actual dollars, they give more. They give away more money than they. Well, obviously they can't give more than they make, but they're able to make enough that they could give more.
Right.
And that's what he said. Those are the happiest people.
I think that's a Torah concept.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's built into our DNA that we're givers.
So I think that reading books, reading books that talk about human psychology, regardless of business, just truly understanding people is what is definitely the greatest thing that, like, because, my background is math, but that really means my background is logic. And it's understanding things. And that's how, as I've said before, I learned marketing from math. But what I really mean is I learned marketing from logic, because I was able to see what types of posts, because it's not just seeing, the number from videos was 400 and the number from articles was 33. Therefore, I should make more videos. Well, it wasn't that, because I had to look at what types of videos, what types of articles. And that is understanding what people want and what people click on and what people react to. I can't even call it Facebook likes. It's Facebook reactions to. That is truly what's important, not just in business, but in life. You want to, in life, be giving value. You want to give value to people.
Sure.
And make people happy. And this is an understanding human psychology is something that puts you like light years ahead of anyone else who's just trying things and seeing if it works.
Okay. All right, Azriel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
It's been very, eye-opening and a lot of great stuff here. And I wish you nothing but hatzlacha.
Amen.
And, I may become one of your clients one of these days.
Bezrat Hashem. Absolutely. I would love to talk about that.
Excellent. All right. Take care.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to the From Entrepreneur Podcast with Nahum Kligman. We hope you learned something valuable and will share this with your friends. For show notes, archives of previous episodes, and more information to help you start and grow your business, please visit our website, www.fromentrepreneur.com. Listen, learn, be Matzliach.